It's Dan Moriarty and Jim Bowden here, hour number 2 of the extravaganza. That is talk radio, sports talk radio with us, with you across the country on Fox Sports. And, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm serious. I'm so beside myself to realize it's a 20th anniversary of Days of Thunder, which makes me think of two things. One, time does fly, yes. And two, I'm getting freaking old.
Well, Dan, let me say this.
I'm correct on both counts.
You're correct on both counts, okay? But that being said, what a great movie. You know, I saw the Tom Cruise movie last night, the new one out with Cameron Diaz. Really fun movie. And, you know, it's always fun to watch Tom Cruise in those movies because as a competitor, it looks like he's just always going to win. But in reality, our next guest actually beat him in like everything they ever competed against.
Well, I honestly think, though, that Tom Cruise kid might have a career.
You think?
Seriously, I think I've seen him a few things. I think he may have a career for himself as we go forward in the acting business. But joining us now, a guy who has worked with Tom Cruise, and he worked with him 20 years ago in Days of Thunder. You knew him as Rowdy Burns. His name is Michael Rooker, with us on Fox Sports Radio. Michael Rooker, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you. I mean, when I say in perspective, you were in the movie. Can you believe that was 20 years ago?
Dude, no, it's hard. It's really hard to believe. I heard you talking about it, and I'm going like, yeah, holy damn it, man, I'm old too. So.
Well, Michael, you know, let's discuss that movie first. And my co-host here, Jim, mentioned, of course, Tom Cruise, and then I look at, you know, well, there was some other guy in that film who wasn't too bad himself, Robert Duvall. As an actor, just the acting profession in general, forget the rest of your career, when you have an opportunity to be in a film with Tom Cruise, Robert Duvall, do you say to myself, lottery?
I say they should say to themselves, lottery.
Yeah.
No, man, we had a great time. That was my first movie after moving out here to L.A. I was out of Chicago. I did most of my earlier jobs from Chicago, and but I had moved down here, and I had an audition meeting with the guys over there, and it was for a movie called Days of Thunder. I went in and we taped and did the reading and everything, and they called me back maybe one or two times, and the last time it was to meet Tom, and we had a great time during the meeting audition, and I ended up getting the gig. And it was my first one out here in L.A. It's 20 years ago.
Michael, besides Nicole Kidman, what was your fondest memory of Days of Thunder?
Yeah, beating the pants off Tom Cruise every time we left the door for the trailers to the set. We'd race, and we'd compete in almost every level of the film, even in our personal walking to and from the set. We'd be running, doing a gauntlet of ropes and climbing ropes and all this kind of stuff, and we'd make it to the set, and whoever made it to the set first, you know, I let him step on the set first every now and then.
All right, then Michael, on that topic, and that rent-a-car chase that you and Tom did, you were obviously just said you competed all the time. Was that you guys actually driving, or were the stuntmen doing most of that work?
Well, you know what? The whole pounding and bumping and grinding with the stunt guys, but we did the initial takeoff from the street, the drag. We did our own little takeoff there, and they had to. I must say, they sort of cheated with me because I kept kicking his little butt. They had to take out one of my spark plugs in my car just so that I wouldn't have a good takeoff, and I still resent that.
Joining us here on Fox Sports Radio, Michael Rooker. He played the character Rowdy Burns in Days of Thunder, and we're having him on now because, well, it's the 20th freaking anniversary of Days of Thunder, and this is a sports show.
Absolutely, but there's also my favorite sports, one of his favorite sports too, which is baseball. I know he's a White Sox fan, but I loved you in the movie 8 Men Out. Tell us about Chick Gandil, that role, and did you like playing a villain?
Oh, guys, my gosh, that was the greatest. You know, it was like being 12-year-old again. A 12-year-old again. You know, you're out there on the you're out there on the ball field, and you're playing and having a good time. You're fighting and arguing and growling at each other over whose raps, who you know, who gets second raps, whatever. And that was great. I mean, I've done a couple of sports movies, and my very first one was 8 Men Out, and that was awesome. And I'm a big NASCAR fan as well, but I'm also a big Demolition Derby fan. I'm a big Derby guy. I love that stuff.
Is that part of the reason, maybe in your personality, where a lot of these characters you play aren't the nicest guys?
You know, I don't know if they're I wouldn't say they're not the nicest guys, but they're, you know what, they are the guys that they're the alpha guy, you know, and they like to come in first, and they love a good fight. They like the competition, and you know, if it's a fair fight, they're into it. So yeah, these characters are pretty rough and tumble. Yeah, I like that, though.
Michael, you grew up in Chicago, and, you know, I was at the game the other night, the Cubs-Dodgers game. I was talking to Alfonso Serrano and Lou Piniella, and I'm just trying to figure out, how can you grow up in Chicago and be a White Sox fan and not a Cub fan? I don't get it.
Well, Chicago is a big city. I mean, there's a whole north side, a whole south side. Although I grew up on the north side there, but I've gone to a couple of Cubs games, but I like the Sox. You know, I've always liked them. So whenever I go home, I still have a house there. I always go try to take in a game if it's in season.
And at the same time, when you look at his resume, the kind of characters he plays, they're more South Side guys, not North Side latte drinking dudes. I'm sorry.
No, that's true, baby. That's true. And you know what? I got to tell you, Chicago's one of those cities that, you know, they're very loyal to their teams.
Hey, Michael, this being the 20th anniversary of Days of Thunder, you're also in the video game for that movie. What's it like being in a video game? It's different than anything else in your career.
No, it's way different. I had, my gosh, I'm all over that game. I do all the voiceover in the game. I'm going to be your crew chief, and I'm going to guide you through the game. I'll guide you through your racing career, you know, and you'll get several levels of comments and appreciation and training along the way. I'll throw your purse out the window and drive the car type of stuff, you know.
You know, I love JFK. I love 8 Men Out. I love the fact that you're in Days of Thunder. But I got to tell you, I'm jealous of you for one reason in your entire career. You were in Sea of Love with Ellen Barkin.
Is she hot or what?
Oh, my God. That's all I can say is, oh, my God.
She played my wife, my ex-wife, yeah. And I did not have a single scene with the lady. Although we were good friends, we went out and had a couple of beers, but I never got to act with her. That's a shame.
Well, but then Pacino killed you.
You know, he didn't really kill me. He didn't kill me. I slipped and fell out the window, you know? That was...
So Al didn't really do it. You did it. You kind of slipped. It wasn't Al's doing.
Al didn't do nothing, man. I could have kicked his butt any time, any day. But I slipped. I slipped over my own foot, you know, and fell out the window.
I think next time you work with Ellen Barkin, whether you have a scene with her or not, you have to become a method actor and really go through the past history of what you guys were like as a married couple before you guys roll camera at all. That's just my suggestion.
You're my kind of director.
That's it. Michael Rooker, thanks, man. Appreciate your time. So happy to talk with you and update our audience about the 20th anniversary Days of Thunder. You played Rowdy Burns. We know the character well.
Baby. Get the game. It's an awesome game. Arcade style. I've been playing it. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. And when you beat the game, well, you don't beat the game. You never beat it.
Right.
But when you advance, you end up unlocking some cool stuff at the end, so you get to do my favorite thing. I told you earlier, Demolition Derby, so you get to go in there and get really, really rough with it.
You know, Michael, from this conversation, it all makes sense, the kind of characters you're playing.